Hi, everyone. I'm the editorial director of minedition. Here with a couple of spring books, a couple of backlist books, and then our big fall list, our first really US heavy list. So Pangolina, it's going to be on sale June 8th. It's already got a Kirkus star. This is the latest book from the legendary and beloved conservationist Jane Goodall. It's got warm and adorable art from Daishu Ma, an up-and-coming Chinese illustrator. The story behind Pangolina is just as fascinating as the book itself. When Jane learned that pangolins were being blamed for bringing coronavirus to humans, she sprang to action, as she does, and started writing this tale. Pangolins are the only mammals with scales. And that's a big reason why they're endangered now. Their scales are prized in Chinese medicine. They're a delicacy in Asian cuisines. And they are also, sadly, when they're attacked or when they're in danger, they curl up into a ball. They can't protect themselves. So they're just easy prey for hunters and traffickers. So this beautiful story is about a little baby pangolina who, has a happy life until she's captured by hunters. There's suspense and then a happy ending when she's rescued by a brave little girl and brought to safety. So there's lots of info here for young conservationists and citizen scientists. And of course, your customers probably already have lots of books about Jane Goodall. And it's just so great to hear her voice on the page and to hear her really advocating for these really amazing and vulnerable creatures. And next we have, moving to fall 21, this book, Antonia, A Journey to a New Home, has really become an in-house favorite. It's an exciting debut by a Colombian author-illustrator named Dipacho. He's got an incredible visual style that we're calling a cross between John Klassen and Oliver Jeffers. It's a mostly wordless story about a little girl, her family, and their dog who are journeying to a new home. They've been displaced from their home. We don't know why. So it's a poignant story, but it's also, and this is the important part, it's also whimsical and funny, because Dipacho's whole philosophy is that even in hard times, and there's lots of hard times in Colombia right now, people need to laugh and have fun and enjoy the joy of being with their loved ones. So, the message here is that when you lose your home, when you leave home, you do lose things, but you also gain things. And so it's in the end, it's a book that, you might shed a tear, but you also really smile. And I think children will really identify with this little girl and these characters. We have an incredible, funny, beautiful trailer coming, not quite ready yet, but it will be up here on Edelweiss for you. So you can see the adorableness and really the richness of what Dipacho has created here. And that one is coming in September. Please keep an eye out. This is our lead title for fall. It's the first of two really different books that are addressed, that are about in the aftermath of the pandemic, but they're really different. Perfect for people who will be just coming out in the fall and trying to make sense of what happened. So this is Longest Storm is Dan Yaccarino, who I'm sure you're all familiar with. It's his most personal and I think most powerful book yet. It's about a single dad family confined to their home by a mysterious storm. Of course, there are many very familiar scenes of mayhem that ensue. Funny details that we'll all recognize, from the homemade unfortunate haircut to strange sleeping habits to lots and lots of conflict, which you don't often see handled so gracefully in picture books, but which children really need to see. Sometimes there is yelling and conflict in a home, and there can also be a resolution. So there's a fantastic apology scene, which I think is going to be a really big source of great conversations. and then a hopeful, uplifting ending that just delivers an incredible emotional release and uplift. And you know, the pandemic is never mentioned in this book. This is a book that will be read years from now, but it will be really useful and really welcome, I think, for parents and all your customers in the fall. And of course, if you are a fan, as I am, of Dan's you know, really unique pen and ink art, you really need to take a look at this book in the flesh. We're using uncoated, really beautiful, gorgeous uncoated paper. We're printing it in Italy. It's gonna have a really different kind of look than what you're used to from Dan. I hope you will get a chance to see that one. Next is our nonfiction book, our next book moving forward. Can you move it? My screen is, oh, there we go. Our next one is a nonfiction book, ages 6 to 10, I think would be fine with this book, about a really interesting phenomenon that we all probably watched the viral videos about during the pandemic, during the early quarantine. Animals were able to wander out of their usual habitat into human spaces because of the people were inside. So what happened was some really funny, you know, and amusing and sort of, you know, rousing vignettes that we all saw of, you know, the deer who went through the shopping mall in Tokyo, and of course the sea lions in parking lots in the title, and coyotes on the Golden Gate Bridge. But even more important was what scientists learned from this. So the term anthropause was coined for this period, and a lot was learned about how we can protect animals and protect from habitat loss. So I think this is a book that is going to help kids to become conservationists and citizen scientists and fight habitat loss. And this incredible art by Annika Seams is also just something you're just nonfiction loving kids and animal loving kids are just going to really like having around to page through. Next, we have a reissue of one of the classic minedition books from a couple of decades ago, but that really is fresh and right for this moment. Why? We don't have a new ISBN yet. I just wanted to show you the cover. This book is about peace, and we heard a lot of chatter online about bringing back the original wordless version, because there was another version that had words added, but it's really this wordless version that gives you the full power of this parable about a frog and a mouse that argue over a beautiful flower, and it escalates into a full-scale frog and mouse war until everything is destroyed. And so it's just the perfect conversation starter. It's the perfect way to talk about how we prevent things from escalating. We've added back the powerful short little note from Nick Popov, who grew up, you know, during World War II, about why he wrote the book. And then we've also added a note from our own Leonard Marcus, our editor at large, talking about the importance of this book in the history of picture books about peace and picture books with this kind of message. So it's a really nice gift for a more serious-minded and art appreciating, because the art is just, it's really stunning. And next we have a few of the minedition board books, which I really hope you'll get to see in person. Minedition shines in the board book category. They have a feel and a quality that's just a cut above your usual board book. So we've really been trying to get these into the hands of more of your kind of customers in the US. They have followings all over the world, but it's really time for them to shine here, I think. Fish by Fish will be new in the fall. This is an anti-bullying book with super cool fish in it. Each little fish is gobbled up by a bigger fish until the littlest ones get together to stand down the biggest one, the biggest bully. And you know, it's obviously a message about upstanding and sticking together with your friends to make the bullies go away. So it's just adorable, and of course beautiful die cut art.